Hey y'all, so today I want to skip ahead and I want to talk about Sun in the 6th house, Synastry overlay. And this one is probably going to be a long one because I absolutely intend on rambling. I did not take any notes. I'm just going to go off the cuff and let it rip. And also I have my fan in the background and you can hear it. It might be soothing to some of y'all, it might be irritating to others, and you're just gonna have to live with it because it feels so fucking good. I'm not turning it off. And I like a little white noise. It helps me think. So, Sun in the 6th house Synastry overlay, I want to go ahead and get it out of the way. What we all know and expect. Yes, you could possibly work together. This could be a boss-employee situation, and that is a shock to no one. So, yeah. Those of you who have this with a boss or employee or a coworker, hats off to you. You already fucking knew that. Now for other people, where this is an actual romantic relationship, it could have started at work, yeah, sure. It could have started at the gym, that too. It could have started at the hospital. Everybody's different. The 6th house rules all. It is a mercurial house and it rules the body as well as far as our health. So you can meet this person really anywhere. Even if you're out running errands, which is still more of a 3rd house thing for me because of the locality of it, the localness. I don't know how to say that word. Kind of embarrassed about it. But Sun in the 6th house in a romantic relationship. Say you didn't meet at a hospital, you didn't meet at work. This person is just on your fucking radar. Maybe you met them online, you know. And you're like, hey, I dig this person. You wouldn't think it's a sexy placement. And it doesn't need to be. It honestly kind of isn't. And it just depends on what you like. If you are more attracted to 6th house relationships, then yeah, this will be sexy to you. So the Sun person... And we all know the Sun is where we want to show up in someone's life. We want to be appreciated. We want to be seen. This is how we, we're peacocking to the house person with our Sun. Whether or not we know it. This is how we show up. And this is also how the Sun person can just see us. You know what I mean? But also how we want to be seen. And the Sun person feels that in order to be noticed by the 6th house person, they have to show their value, show their importance in all matters related to being of assistance. And you could wonder, why? Why would anybody want to do that? You have to look at the Sun. This is one of the placements where you always want to look at the Sun and the aspects and everything like that, but especially whenever you have Sun in the 6th Synastry overlay, you want to know, why is the Sun person going so hard here? You know what I mean? And it's usually a self-worth thing. The Sun person, typically, they feel the way to reach the 6th house person or to be with the person they so desire is by showing up and being seen as the helper, being seen as, look at all the things that I'm doing for you. Look at all the ways that I'm with you. This person could also be a codependent person. These two could be codependent. Because the 6th house is literally every single day. Your day-to-day chores, duties, waking up, brushing your teeth, doing your chores, taking out the laundry, going to work. The mundane, boring, the things that you don't really think about, but at the same time you do think about because you've got to get them done. They're not particularly exciting. Whereas if you were looking at the 3rd house is more of activities. Whenever you go to a concert, when you go to your local library to read, and it's your hobbies are mixed into the 3rd house. The things that you are excited about doing every day. The 6th house is kind of the things that you're not excited to do every day. So the sun person really can be a tag along for the sixth house person. They think that the way that they are securing their spot, because you have to understand, when someone comes into your sixth house and they want to be with you, they see, especially having the sun here, but at any sixth house synastry, they see themselves as securing their spot. They have to have such a vital, because the sixth house might seem like irrelevant and boring, but it is extremely important because it's our everyday life. So whenever someone's planet comes into your sixth house, they're securing their spot in your everyday life. They want to be noticed by the house person, by the sixth house person. And the way that they are noticed is by being helpful. And actually, I think sixth house synastry is really good to have. Again, if you're a more practical person, or you're looking for a relationship where you can depend on somebody, this is excellent. And I know people are like, well, it's boring. But to know that somebody is going to be there for you provides a different kind of love than just having someone who's like free willy, 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door every single time. You never know when you're going to see them again. It might be exciting, but it's not. You can't really make a relationship out of that. You can't make something that is steadfast, that is endurable, that has longevity, with something that is so come and go, you know? So having sun in the sixth house is actually really beneficial. Any sixth house place, except for Mars. Maybe Mars is just a little too harsh. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little too military, and you might actually be in the military together if you have Mars in the sixth house synastry. But if you have sun, here's the thing with the sun. We all know it's not the moon, it's not Venus, it's not a giver without acknowledging that they have given. You have to acknowledge. If you're going to be in this relationship, the sixth house person has to acknowledge everything that the sun person does, because the sun person is showing up and showing out. It's not so much I feel like it is out of love. Depending on the person, again, you have to look at the sun with them, because if they have some shitty aspects with sun and Pluto, or Mars, it's like, what is your you don't need to be here if you're just going to be trying to, like, take up all this space in my life and be a dick. You know, don't do shit that you don't want to actually do, sun person. That's probably what the sixth house person could say to the sun person. If there is trouble in paradise, as far as the sun person's aspects to their sun. However, if they have some, pretty pleasant aspects, especially sun trine Jupiter, or sun trine, if they have sun's hard aspects to Neptune, this is why it's important to look at the aspects towards the sun, and also in the synastry between the two of you, because the sun person could be a little bit insecure, and feel that they have to really do too much to keep the house person. They might feel that the house person has a lot of people after them for one reason or another. But the sun person could feel like, well, is anybody doing this for you? Is anybody cooking for you? Is anybody cleaning for you? Is anybody, ironing your clothes at night before you wake up in the morning for work? Is anybody making your coffee for you? Is anybody cleaning your house for you? Is anybody coming over to check your tires and do an oil change for you? Is anybody, taking you to the store if you need to go to the store? Is anybody, taking you to work if you need to go to work, house person? The sun person really wants to be the me, pick me. It's a very pick me placement. I'm not gonna lie. It's pick me as fuck. And it's not a bad thing. Like, you want someone to come into your life and who wants to, make your day easier. But don't think that it's in vain, because the sun person wants that recognition. They want to be acknowledged by the sixth house person as the one who's always there for them, and nobody else better ever say that they do more for the sixth house person than the sun person. And the sixth house person better not ever the sun person better not ever hear the sixth house person say that somebody else does more for them than the sun person does. Because the sun person will then start doing the, well, what about when I did this for you? What about when I did that for you? No one else does this for you. No one else does that for you. You're so ungrateful. Blah, 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 blah. And the sixth house person is like, when have I ever fucking told you to do any of that? Because the sixth house is where we really got it ourselves. We have to. We have to learn to take care of ourselves. Unless you're like some prince or princess who's got everything handed to you. For the most part, most of us are out here getting it how we live. And the sun person just kind of steps in, doesn't really ask for the assistance to help. They just kind of do it, and they want the sixth house person to see, look what I did. The sun person, for anybody to want to be in a relationship like this, because you can have your sun in someone's sixth house and not give a damn about what the fuck they got going on in their daily life. You don't care about helping them. It doesn't matter. This is how the sun person strikes the sixth house person, or the sixth house person strikes the sun person, rather. The sun person just feels that in order to get their foot in the door with the sixth house person, to keep their spot in their life, they have to, be by their side and do all the shit the sixth house person doesn't want to do. And this can show up in a way where the sun person doesn't even want the sixth house person to do anything for themselves, because they want to, for some reason it just shows up. And this is why I think the sun person genuinely already has like some sixth house things going on there, like a lot of Virgo or something like that, or even Pisces, because this is the 6th house and the 12th house are sacrificial houses. They're sacrificial. It's where you give up so much, and it can be a thankless house, just being honest. So the sun person feels like the 6th house person won't want me, or what if I'm not good enough for the 6th house person? The way that I need to show my worth is by cleaning up after them, by going to the gym with them when they go to the gym, by ironing their clothes, by bringing them a beer whenever they want it, by cooking for them, by giving them foot massages, by making their bed, by doing all these things. And maybe the sun person, it doesn't have to so much be that the 6th house person strikes them in this way. The sun person could have this going on in their mental all by themselves, because this is a mercurial house, and it deals with mental health as well. So the sun person could just be working out their own, and it doesn't have to be bad. And I know I'm not trying to make this sound like a bad thing. I'm just pointing out all the scenarios, the possible scenarios that could make somebody want to do this. Because not a lot of people do want to do that. They don't. Usually people want to meet someone in their 7th or their 1st or even their 4th, some kind of shared commonality between us. The 6th house is not shared. Just because the sun person does all this stuff for the 6th house person doesn't mean the 6th house person will do this for the sun person. It's not shared. It could be if they both have this double whammy, and that's super fucking wow. But yeah, the 6th house person isn't about to do all this stuff for the sun person. In fact, they might get their head bit off, because the sun person is like, that's my fucking shit. You're stepping into my role. This is my lane, dude. And you know what? The sun person could be someone who is very traditional. They come from that. They could come from a family where, there's gender roles. And women do this and men do that. And so they feel very uncomfortable because even though this is the 6th house, this is also the sun. The sun is very, can be our egotistical, where we want to show up and where we will show up, and screw you if you don't like it. So it's kind of funny in the fact that the sun person wants to show their affection and show up in the 6th house person's life in such a strong way when it comes to their daily life, chores and the things, the mundane. And they don't really give the 6th house person the option if they like it or not. It's just, it is what it is. And that's wild as fuck. Like, I am going to help you whether you want me to or not. But I also want you to acknowledge me and give me praise for the help that I'm giving you that you did not ask for. You know, and again, I'm just being a smart ass when I'm saying this. I'm also being I'm telling the truth, but I am being a smart ass, okay? And it is funny. Because it's like, how the fuck are you going to tell me that I don't have a choice in letting you help me or not? Because what if I don't want you to do that? It's like, who asked you what you wanted? And the sun person will ask the 6th house person what they want, but they're not going to ask them if they want the help. They're going to do it anyway. And this is somebody who's kind of hard to get rid of if they're really into you, especially if they're a very adamant person in that way. Because this is a feminine house, but the sun is a dominant sign. It's a masculine sign. And they're just going to show up like this in your life, whether you want them to or not. And this is a person that is, you know, it's like, this woman can't take a hint. Like, I don't need you to do all this shit for me. But some people might actually like it. But just keep in mind that whenever the sun is here, it's not Venus. The sun wants its props. It wants its cookie. It wants its star on the chart at the end of the day. And it wants its gold fucking medal. Fuck silver, fuck bronze. They want that recognition. Like, I mean, whenever y'all are having dinner with friends and family, they want your ass to get up and say a toast to how great of a wife or a husband they are because they do all these things for you, and if they didn't exist, you would be shit out of luck. You know? So, I don't know. I kind of like this placement because I like to be catered to, and I don't want to do shit, so I don't mind. And if you need me to tell you what a great person you are just so you can clean my socks and wash my car, fuck it. Here, you're amazing. I love you. Keep on. Keep up the good work. I don't care. But some people might feel like, I don't need you to do all that, and I don't want to tell you how great you are because you kind of suck to me. I don't know. It's really a preferential thing, as all of them are. As all of them are. I personally, in this point of life, am leaning towards the more practical, earthly houses, and I dig it. So, what the fuck is this? Oh, sorry, you guys. What else? So, yeah, you want to look at the sun persons and also your synastry, because this is something that's going to happen every single day. This is going to happen every day, because this is the 6th house. This person is going to be so in your life, it's ridiculous. It's like, this person might be the type to want to stay home as well. Or want you to stay home. This can work both ways. The sun person, if the sun person is someone who is a traditionalist, and they are a male, and they are the straightest thing walking on the planet. Or they could even be, they could be gay, but they could still have values ingrained in them that they are the breadwinner. They are the one that's going to take care of their partner, their wife, their husband, whatever. They are going to want the 6th house person to stay home. Yep, you heard that right. They're going to want the 6th house person to stay home because they are so capable of taking care of the 6th house person. Now, the 6th house person does not need to work, and they need to be at home, cleaning their home, making sure dinner is hot on the table when they walk through the door. Yeah. This could go both ways, so it just really depends. If this is a same-sex couple that is, 2 women, the sun person, it depends on the sun person. You have to look at those aspects, because if you have the 6th house person as a dominant person, they're gonna probably want the sun person to stay at home, you know, if they're traditional in that way. somebody's got to give here. It doesn't seem like it would be such a you do this, I do that kind of a placement. Although it is the 6th house. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Come on, y'all. But with the sun person, you have to... Who the fuck is the sun person? Who are they? How is their temperament? How are they handling their sun? Are they a narc? You know, what's going on with the sun? Because they want some kind of control over the 6th house person. They want some kind of control in the 6th house person's life. And you know what? The sun person can really feel like they're doing what's right. Because the 6th house is also where we are blind to how annoying we are. And because we think we're helping. So yeah, the sun person takes a lot of pride in being the 6th house's bitch. And in a way, can make the 6th house their bitch. Because you're gonna let them be your bitch. Or else. I don't know. It's a very mature placement. It requires people to really communicate more than they would probably like to. Because some people feel like they don't have to talk to their partner as much as whenever you have the sun in the 6th house. The sun person wants communication. I'll tell you that. They want communication with you. So it would be great if they had like Sun, Trine, Jupiter going there. And it doesn't always mean that the sun person is a dickhead. It could mean that the sun person has some really, really insecure issues that they have to work out. And they feel like sacrificing themselves is the way to be acknowledged by the sun person. I mean, the house person. And that could be because of how they grew up. Maybe they weren't acknowledged at all. And the only way they ever found value in themselves is by being of service to people. And being a people pleaser and a bit of a doormat. And it's thankless. It's thankless. So maybe the sun person feels that the 6th house person truly does appreciate them. And then you have that sweetness, especially if you have Sun conjunct Venus, Sun conjunct Moon, Sun trine Moon, good aspects to Jupiter and Neptune. And, you know, this really can be such a great thing. And also, if you have Sun square Uranus in a same-sex couple, that can show here, too, in Synastry, that y'all are an unconventional, traditional kind of couple. So y'all are traditional, and y'all just look different than what is considered the typical heterosexual, you know, American couple. So before I drag this any longer, I'm just going to close it out here. That is Sun in the 6th house Synastry overlay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Sun in the 4th and Sun in the 3rd too. But I just really wanted to do Sun in the 6th because it's not leaving me alone. And I really don't like how, you know, some astrologers describe the Sun in the 6th house as like this co-worker only kind of relationship. It's a lot more to it than that, babe. Okay, see you in the next video.